Buildaid Media, powered by builders and supported by Mix 93.8 FM and SA Garden and Home, are proud to bring you this Homeowner Workshop series. Throughout this series, we will be showcasing a wide variety of industry specialists to ensure a positive building experience. In this episode, Clive Fenton from Skybright discusses the various types of skylights and their impact and benefit to your home. Your host is Graham Alexander from Buildaid Media.
Thanks for coming to chat to us, Clive.
You're welcome.
Just to get started off, Clive, there are three things or three notes I have here of why do you put in a skylight. And one of them is light, one of them is ventilation, and one is temperature control. The light one, I think we could understand. Clive, you're getting light into your building. But a lot of homes aren't designed to accommodate the south side of the home, so you battle to actually get light in there. So obviously a skylight can do this.
Yeah, if you got problems with additional light coming into rooms, as Graham said, on your south side, a skylight can generate that extra light. If you look on top of your roof and you actually see the direct sunlight that's actually falling on that roof, that sunlight will actually come into a south side room, especially bathrooms, kitchens, those areas. So you can actually physically get light that you would get on a north-facing room coming into that room, and it'll make it a lot brighter.
Ventilation is not something that jumps to mind when you're talking about skylights, but a lot of skylights and roofs are mechanical and can be opened and closed. And maybe not necessarily just to get ventilation into the room, but could play a part in a kitchen.
Yeah, we find that we do a lot of skylights in kitchens. That helps with the extraction of the cooking smells in the home, especially if it's an open planned kitchen. You can actually get that. You can actually see if you're cooking a steak, you can see that steam going out through the skylight if it's an openable one. Bathrooms as well, if you're doing showers and you want ventilation that gets the steam out, and also atriums where you've got water, moisture in your home and you want to get that moisture out, then an opening skylight will actually work for you.
Skylights are obviously letting in a lot of radiation or sunlight that can heat a space up. And I know you guys can deal with the type of glass you use, but again with temperature control, you can heat the room up, but you can also cool it down if you have a mechanical device.
Yeah, normally if you're wanting to warm up a place, then you're going to have a look at natural ventilation as well. Because in South Africa we have 9 months summer, 3 months winter, and you are going to generate a lot of extra additional heat in the summer months. So we can control those skylights by using mirror reflective glass, which cuts out your heat. You can use ventilation, getting rid of your heat, and you can use double glazing, which you can control your heat, especially for the winter months.
I believe you guys have 30 different types of skylights and roof lights and so on. We probably don't have the time this morning to go through all 30, and we'll go through a couple of the common ones, like a glass roof. And I think the slides on the screen here are going to help us understand a glass roof. Why would you use a glass roof like that?
Well, if you have a look at this photograph, this is actually a sliding glass roof, and the client is having an internal garden, so he needs a lot of natural light to come into light up and let the plants grow on the hanging garden. And but obviously there's going to be a lot of moisture control, and so we've allowed it to slide open completely. So it's got this indoor-outdoor effect on that one. And glass roofs are very common in homes today.
Pyramids skylight, I think everybody will probably recognize that skylight. But is that only on flat roofs?
Normally, generally they are on flat roofs. They're designed for flat roofs, either concrete slabs or corrugated iron, IBR, but something that's fairly flat, yes.
I know the flat roofs or concrete roofs were very common, in the 80s, with that cubic sort of design. Are a lot of flat roofs still used?
There's still a lot of homes that are, but it's normally a combination of pitched roofs and flat roofs together.
I've also made a note here, Clive, that you could put a roof window into virtually any roof, including thatch.
Yes, we can. We custom design what lengths and widths you want, but you can fit them into concrete tiles, thatch, slate, corrugated iron, any type of roofing system that you have.
We're looking at a slide there of a roof window. Does that imply that it always opens, or could it be a sealed unit?
It could be a fixed unit, and what we would do is specify if it was like an entrance hall, you wouldn't need a ventilating system. But if it's a bathroom, a kitchen, an atrium, a closed area where you just don't have natural ventilation, then we would specify an opening unit.
Glass floors are interesting because you would immediately say, what do I want a glass floor for? But they perform quite an important role if you need them.
Yeah, we're finding they're becoming very, very popular, especially internal glass floors. So you would have a skylight above on your roof, and then you would have a glass floor on your first level, and that would let the light down to the ground level. So those are becoming quite popular. And then you would have your glass floors on patio. So you've got a big patio area, but upstairs is the balcony area. And you need to get that light as close as possible to the north-facing windows and doors to generate that extra light. And you need to walk over them, and just your standard skylights would be in the way. So glass floors are becoming very, very popular.
Quality is something that we talk about often, because it's if you've worked out the budget correctly, the 3 million rand house I was talking about, and before you build, you know exactly what it costs, you're less likely to use poor quality. People understand, I think, the difference between the two. So it's driven mostly by the budget not being right in the first place. The 3 million rand that wasn't planned properly by an architect probably had a quote come in at 2.5 million, and it's 3.5 million. The 3.5 million or the 3 million, the homeowner is going to believe they're simply crooks. The 2.5 must be the right guy. You know, he's the honest guy. You tell me he's the wrong guy. And the reason we choose poor quality is because we've run out of money, not because we want poor quality. But quality in a skylight, just like anything, Clive, you know, it's part of the roof. If it fails, it's going to be a pretty much a disaster.
Yeah, Graham, it is. People do bad planning when it comes to skylights. So I'm a member of the Skylight Association, which is affiliated to ARMSA. And we do a lot of reports, and we go out and check other people's skylights that have been installed by various installers. And we just find what happens is people don't budget right in the beginning for the skylights. And when it comes to the end of the project, they start looking for the cheapest, so they can actually fit into budget, and that's a total disaster. We do about 30% of our business is repair work to existing skylights. So for the last 28 years, 30 years that I've been doing skylights, I've seen plenty where people have been given the wrong information and have gone basically for a company that does skylights just a little bit. They're not professionals. They'll do a whole lot of other things, and then maybe they'll do one little thing with skylights. But you need to actually go out and look for a professional that is specializing purely in skylights, nothing else, and then you're going to get a decent job.
There are two indicators in quality that are helpful. One is price. If somebody's half price, there's probably a very good reason there's half price. It's the weight, the quality of the metal. There's a reason. And the other is the brand. So if you've got a good brand, and it sounds a little bit more expensive, it's probably the product you should be dealing with. Doesn't always work that way, but they are good indicators. We said a little while ago, Clive, that you've got 30 different systems. So planning a home, a new home, there could be a whole lot of applications, and you'd use a different kind of skylight or a vertical glazing and so on. So the question is, when does the homeowner start planning? I mean, it's obvious. When do you start planning? Right now. The longer you've got to plan, the more successful your project's going to be. Don't rush it. There's no rush to start building next Friday. Get the planning done. Clive, how do you work with architects?
But when the architect comes to us, he'll say, this is the type of roofing that we're going to put the skylights in, or this is the rooms that we want to put in the skylights. Can you give us a quote or give us designs on what type of skylights we're needing? And then we've got a whole range of standard systems, but those standard systems can be customized to suit. And then we also have a look at the size that the architect is actually giving you. So we might tell the architect, go a bit bigger because we're using a darker glass to reduce the amount of heat, or make that skylight a little bit smaller, or in fact you actually don't need a skylight in this area because you've got enough natural light coming in through the windows. But rather put the skylight in an area where you haven't thought about, and that area is a lot darker. So we try and help the architects make the right design and decision of where the skylights should actually be. And then right at the end, before we do the actual installations, we come and double check, because now we've got the physical building up and we can see the holes into the rooms, and we'll decide what type of glass we should actually fit into those applications.
We're talking about new homes here, essentially, but obviously your products can be put into existing homes. Do you find a lot of your work is in existing homes?
Graham, yes, we do a lot of existing homes, especially the older homes, because the older homes haven't been really well designed and the windows are a lot smaller, especially the south-facing bathrooms and kitchens. They have very small windows, and so skylights are really apt for older homes.
Thank you for joining us. If you would like to watch any more of the workshops in the Homeowner series, follow the Buildaid YouTube channel or visit our website, buildaid.co.za, where you can find a full range of our product offering. To book your seat at our next workshop, visit caxtonevents.co.za. Don't forget to tune into Mix 93.8 FM Wednesday evenings from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. to listen to the Buildaid show.